Hey there, Reds. Welcome to Manchester United Daily Updates, your daily hub for all things Manchester United, from transfer news to match.
Welcome back to the channel. Today, we've got huge updates from Manchester United. Pogba talks, Sir Jim Ratcliffe's mistake, Chelsea Hijack's transfer. Man United news. Manager confirms Paul Pogba talks as Sir Jim Ratcliffe admits mistake. Manchester United's part owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has spoken once more about the club while questions remain over the future of United's record signing Paul Pogba. Manchester United have a chance to build on their Thursday night victory over Real Sociedad when they take on Leicester City in a Premier League clash on Sunday. Ruben Amorim's team pulled away from La Real in the second half on Thursday, winning 4-1 on the night and 5-2 on aggregate as the visitors ended with 10 men. They will take on Lyon in the quarterfinals after the French club completed a 7-1 aggregate victory over FSCB. Leicester were United's opponents in the final game before Amorim took charge, with the Red Devils winning 3-0 at Old Trafford. Ruud van Nistelrooy was in the United dugout that day but is now facing an uphill battle to keep the Foxes in the Premier League. Away from the pitch, part owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe has been speaking about the club's past, present and future. That's one of the topics of discussion today as Mirror Football brings you the latest from around Old Trafford. Ratcliffe's mistake claim. Sir Jim Ratcliffe has argued Manchester United should not have appointed David Moyes as Sir Alex Ferguson's successor. Moyes lasted less than a year in the dugout, leading United to what was at the time their lowest ever Premier League points tally. Look, I like David Moyes and I think he's a really good manager, but to go from Sir Alex Ferguson to Moyes is not where I would have gone, Ratcliffe told The Times. Moyes stepped into the shoes of Ferguson, who's won the Premier League 13 times, who won the Champions League twice, and then you're handing over to a guy that has never managed big players and had never won anything. He's not necessarily got the personality to stand in front of them all, and I don't think Real Madrid would have made that choice as coach. Amorim's praise for heaven. Manchester United head coach Ruben Amorim has been full of praise for teenage defender Aiden Heaven. The former Arsenal youngster made his first senior career start against Real Sociedad and made quite the impression. I really like his confidence, I like his pace, Amorim said of the centre-back. I think he's good in defending the box. I think he's quite complete, but he has a lot of work to do. The head coach also called for his team to build some momentum, saying, "We have to be humble and forget the lack of recovery time, forget the table and face Leicester like we faced Real Sociedad. We just need to win to improve our position in the table." Pogba's conversations. France manager Didier Deschamps has shed light on the conversations he has had with Les Blues star Paul Pogba. Former Manchester United star Pogba is on the lookout. Chelsea immediately follow up on Man United transfer Hijack by signing £18.5 million wonderkid. Chelsea are continuing to get their business taken care of early, following up their move for Giovanni Quenda by wrapping up a deal for Dario Asugo. Sporting CP teenager Quenda had been linked with a move to Manchester United after being handed his senior debut by current United boss Ruben Amorim. Chelsea have beaten them to the punch, though, with the 17-year-old set to sign a 7-year deal and spend next season in Lisbon before arriving in 2026. Chelsea were already set to welcome two other wonderkids this summer, with deals agreed for Kendry Páez and Estevao Willian. Now, after bringing the total to 3 new faces with £40 million starlet Quenda, they're set to quickly make it 4 with a deal for Asugo. Like Quenda, Asugo is on the books of Sporting. However, it's his form on loan with Spanish side Las Palmas that has prompted the Blues to swoop. According to the Mail, Asugo will join for £18.5 million with no additional clauses or add-ons. The Portugal under-21 international has predominantly featured as a deep-lying midfielder for Las Palmas this term and scored his first senior goal in a defeat to Mallorca in November. He joins a wealth of midfield options at Chelsea, where Moises Caicedo and Romeo Lavia are among the senior stars signed for substantial fees. The Blues also signed Mathis Amugu from Saint-Étienne in February, with the French youngster making his Premier League debut in a victory over Southampton. South American stars Estevao and Páez are both due to join the Blues in the summer of 2025 after turning 18. Both are already full senior internationals for Brazil and Ecuador, respectively. On the field, Chelsea still have work to do to make sure of Champions League qualification. They will end the weekend in fourth regardless of what happens in their London derby away at Arsenal, but defeat will leave the chasing pack within touching distance. The gap to second-place Arsenal right now is quite big, and the reason why is because they are working with the same manager for 5 years, so the difference is quite important, Maresca told reporters ahead of the match. The gap stands at 6 points going into the game, but the two sides were level after their 1-1 draw in November. With the same players, they have already played in some important games, but our target and duty is to close that gap between us and them, the Italian continued. In this moment, the table shows the difference is 6 points, so we are quite close and have 10 games to go. We're not focused on whether they can be 3, 6 or 9 points ahead. We are focused on our game and how we try to beat them. Hopefully, we can beat them and we will be closer. The awkward question about Manchester United's vision for Old Trafford. Politics writer Joseph Timon looks at Manchester United's eye-catching plan for Old Trafford and whether it could really happen. It was at the London offices of Mancunian architect Norman Foster that Manchester United unveiled their bold vision to the world. A new 100,000-seater stadium next to the current one at Old Trafford and the wholesale regeneration of the area around it, including more than 17,000 homes. The club claims the project could create 92,000 jobs and add an extra £7.3 billion per year to the UK economy. Flanked by Andy Burnham and other local leaders, the club then went to the French Riviera to sell its vision to international investors. Sources close to the project say there was lots of interest in the plans at MIPIM, the annual global property summit in Cannes. But one question keeps coming up: how can United, a club in £1 billion of debt, afford to build the world's greatest football stadium? Manchester United estimate the cost of building the state-of-the-art stadium and the associated club areas to be around £2 billion. The government has indicated its support for the scheme, but has ruled out putting taxpayers' money towards the stadium itself. Instead, the club says public cash could help enable the wider regeneration, which could in turn help finance the club's ambitions. Meanwhile, Mr. Burnham is lobbying the government to help free up land next to the current stadium by relocating a freight terminal elsewhere, a move which he says would require around £200 million to £300 million of funding, but would bring big benefits to the Northwest. There are lots of moving parts to this major project that could be truly transformational for the region. So, could it really happen? The new 100,000-seat stadium promises to bring fans closer than ever to the pitch, with a huge roar cultivated by the acoustics. Unveiling the plan this week, Lord Foster, whose architectural firm is behind the design, explained that the vast umbrella around the stadium would harvest solar energy and rainwater while sheltering a new public plaza twice the size of London's Trafalgar Square. The stadium would also have 3 masts, up to 200 m tall, symbolizing the Red Devil's trident, visible from almost 40 kilometers away. The design has garnered a mixed reaction from United's massive fanbase, with many comparing the new stadium to a circus tent. But the club hopes the 100,000-seater will be a global attraction, bringing in an extra 1.8 million visitors to the revitalized area every year. More than 17,000 new homes are also planned as part of the project, which promises to create a mini-city around the new stadium. Images shared by the club show a new linear park, an open cinema and a market around the site with a rebuilt railway station too. Manchester United claims the project has the potential to create up to 92,000 new jobs, and not just during the construction phase. Man United end interest in free agent signing as Premier League rivals handed transfer boost. Manchester United have reportedly dropped their interest in signing former youth product and current Lille midfielder Angel Gomez on a free transfer this summer. The England international never made the grade at Old Trafford during a 14-year stint from 2006 to 2020, only playing 10 times in all competitions before leaving for nothing in 2020. Gomez has since made a career for himself in France, though, contributing 10 goals and 19 assists in 134 appearances for Lille, who currently sit 5th in the League One standings. The 24-year-old's form in the French top flight was impressive enough to catch the eye of former England interim boss Lee Carsley, who included him in each of his 3 Nations League squads last year after winning the Under-21 European Championship together. However, Gomez is out of contract at the Stade Pierre-Mauroy at the end of the season, and the midfielder has admitted that he is not in the dark about the interest in his services this summer. Man United have no interest in Gomez' deal. A return to Old Trafford has unsurprisingly been mooted for Gomez, whose prospective signing on a free transfer would seemingly be ideal for the Red Devils amid their serious financial concerns. Nevertheless, Football Insider claims that the 24-year-old is not expected to enjoy a Theatre of Dreams reunion this summer, as he is not on the radar of his former team despite his soon-to-be free agent status. Man United's stance is seemingly good news for two of their Premier League rivals, as Tottenham Hotspur and West Ham United are believed to be pursuing a deal to sign the 24-year-old ahead of the 2025-26 campaign. The Irons are thought to be at the head of the queue and have started talks to bring Gomez back to England, where he played 5 times in the Premier League for Man United. However, injuries have restricted Gomez to just 20 appearances in all competitions this season, from which he has recorded 2 goals and an assist, and he was not selected for Thomas Tuchel's first England squad for March's World Cup 2026 qualifiers with Albania and Latvia. Ex-Man United protégé Gomez is likely to be one of 2 Lille players departing for nothing in a few months' time, as in-demand striker Jonathan David has confirmed that he is ready for a new adventure. The Canada international has been linked with a Premier League move for a number of years now and continues to go from strength to strength in Lille colours, registering 23 goals and 10 assists from 41 outings this season. David is understood to favour a move to England's top flight over Barcelona, although Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea and Newcastle United are also keeping a close eye on the Canadian situation. Furthermore, David is not thought to be at the top of Ruben Amorim's striker wishlist, as the Portuguese is instead hoping to reunite with a marksman he previously worked with before making